Yo, 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 what's going on, my TMB crew? What's going on? Welcome back to The Correct Opinion. The Correct Opinion. This is the only live stream where the apocalypse gets analyzed harder than your group chat crush. I'm Anthony White. I'm your spoiler sensitive tour guide. Tonight, we're breaking down one of the heaviest episodes of The Last of Us Season 2 yet. Plus, got some rapid fire industry news to wrap up our show at the end. Now, you already know what to do. Hit that like button, drop your comments, and tell your group chat that we are live. Now, let's hop into The Last of Us Season 2, Episode 4, called Day 1. Excuse me, Seattle Day 1. Now, hearing it should just be just hearing it should ring a bell for game fans, and it's a direct pull from the game, right? Like this plants us right at the starting line of that metaphorical shitstorm. This is where Ellie's emotional and violent journey through Seattle plays out over 3 brutal days. It's the moment where survival and revenge stop being ideas and start being the air that these characters breathe. Right here, right now, this is where Ellie eats, shits, and sleeps revenge. We're not just watching the beginning of a road trip. Nah, we're walking down into our first step into hell. Now, listen, if you are rocking with me so far, hit that follow button because unlike Fedra, I'm actually going to get you out of this alive. Plus, we got Easter eggs, breakdowns, and all the details you won't catch on your first watch. So let's survive this apocalypse together. Hit that like button. Please, 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 please. If you're watching, subscribe. I know 8 out of 10 of y'all watching are not subscribed. Please go ahead, hit that subscribe and turn on those notifications. Appreciate you. All right, let's get into it. Now, episode 4 kicks off with I think something of a flashback. And Josh Peck pulls out of nowhere like he's trying to make Jake and Fedra a thing. I haven't seen Josh in anything serious before, but I hear that his appearance kind of blew up online. Now, the real heat in this scene isn't Josh, though. It's Isaac. He's out here making his debut like a Fedra squad dropout. Isaac's whole vibe screams, I'm too real for this fastest shit. And we find out fast because he straight up grenades his own team to join the WLF. Jeffrey Wright returns to the role after voicing Isaac in the game. He actually was the voice in the game, and now look at this. History repeats itself, and this time we actually get a glimpse into Isaac's messy origin. In the game, this you didn't really get to see. This was just mostly hidden in like collectible notes that you could easily overlook while going through the entire game. We flash to Dina and Ellie scavenging at Weston's pharmacy. And yo, I can't tell you. I can't even tell you the detail here. The detail in this scene. Like, even the Monostat 7 cream box is 2003 accurate. It's like crazy cool, total time capsule watching this show. And yes, it's hilarious that yeast infection meds and pregnancy tests were the last things left untouched. I love how they accurately recreate this room from the game. Like, watching it, I felt like I knew exactly where this was in the game. Like, I remember crawling through that hole. I remember going into the back of the pharmacy and seeing what I could find. Anyway, I love all of this in this scene. Dina pees on 5 tests. 5 tests. This girl's committed. While Ellie waits outside, totally clueless. Bonus real world nod, Capitol Hill, where the pharmacy is located, was Seattle's LGBTQ hub long before the outbreak. The bombed out buildings even reference real life 1993 neo-Nazis attacks. Now, Ellie and Dina don't even know what rainbow flags mean because the world ended before marriage equality got mainstream. That's actually kind of crazy when you think about it. Like, they were born or raised in a world after the apocalypse. So all of these things that we kind of just know being exposed to society, they're out of touch with, and the people around them never felt it important to actually teach them. Anyway, we get to the Valiant music store. Ellie and Dina find this music shop, and it's an Easter egg gold mine for gamers, right? There's posters for Pearl Jam, Sublime, a fake band called Your Mom, and even Sick Habit, a fictional band from the game. Plus, when Ellie goes upstairs and we get the Take On Me moment, straight out of the game, but layered now, because this song also played during Ellie's mall adventures with Riley. Ellie's cover here legit hits me in the feels, right? For these kids born after the world ended, music is sacred, but it's all secondhand. There's no live shows, no radio, no concerts, only ghosts of songs. Now, Dina's "you've gotten pretty good" line also mirrors what she says in the game, except here it's less flirty and more hard eyes. I don't know. I really like this scene, and it was impressive to see Bella Ramsey play the song and sing the song pretty well. Yeah, this one I had to kind of let breathe. But it's Torture Kitchen time. So we snap back to Isaac, who's now out here torturing a Seraphite in the kitchen, right next to an OSHA poster about employee rights, right? Like that irony is dead. So Isaac has this characteristic that kind of stands out to me. If you really think about it, and if you're really honest about it, his brutality mirrors Joel's dark choices. These two actually have a lot in common. Hero, that term, who's your hero, actions can seem different depending on who's telling the story. One detail that the show nails, the new recruit outside is visibly shook hearing the screams, while the vet soldier just shrugs. Now, you remember him from when Isaac bombed the Fedra soldiers. He had let one of them survive. This is Isaac's cycle of corruption in real time. Ellie and Dina, they go on, they find the WLF symbol on top of a building, and they get ready to just go charge into the TV studio. And this whole segment is a really cool one-for-one recreation from the game. I love this stuff because it not only highlights just how cinematic, how immersive the storytelling is in the Last of Us series as a video game, it tells you how powerfully resonant it was with folks that they decided that this would be the best solution for translating it to television. We need to target sometimes one-for-one recreations from the game. Anyway, they head towards this building. Instead of climbing up with a ladder or a rope like they did in the game, the show gives them this busted window to crawl through, and they find WLF bodies strung up, gutted. And if you call it the bloody feel her love slogan, that's the scars, I think. So the WLF calls them the scars, and everyone else, or they just refer to themselves as the Seraphites. I guess this is their form of revenge in order to purify these sinners. Dina pukes seeing the carnage, right? She lets it all out. And this is another hint at her pregnancy. Now, This scene plays out a lot like the game, with the characters trying to stay out of sight as some of the WLF soldiers start making their way inside of the building. Now, these characters sneak around and they try to find a way to escape when members of the WLF just start systematically checking every place that they could possibly be hiding. Now, I love this room because it's so much of like a one-for-one recreation of the game, right? Like they even do little video game stuff, right? So like they do this thing like um and you got to kind of really pay attention to notice it. Like when Ellie sneaks up on the WLF guard, she has her flashlight on her shoulder. She starts holding things exactly like she does in stealth mode in the game. And that's the little details that we like to see. Um, she even catches this dude, yokes him up, and knifes him in the neck exactly like she does in the video game, almost as if she was just practicing the motion capture that they created for the game. Now, Ellie and Dina, they do find a way to escape. They head into the subway tunnels, and here's the gem, right? They make their way into these subway tunnels, but the WLF know this landscape like the back of their hand. This is their territory. So they just circle around the other side and try to pin them in. And there's this moment where one of the guards like throws a flare and it hits these tendrils of the infected that's under the train, notifying all of the other infected that there's dinner here. It's like ringing the dinner bell, and they start running. Dina does this thing and she crouches and counts the infected. She's using in-game listening mode. This is what the characters do in the game. Like they crouch down, they start listening, and they're able to get a sense of where the infected are coming from. That little hand signal, that's exactly how you scout threats in The Last of Us Part 2. Things get hectic when the tendrils trigger the horde, right? Shout out to the writers for remembering this is a zombie show. Dina and Ellie barely escape the horde as it starts to overtake all of the WLF guards, and they make their way through a subway car, just like the harrowing tunnel escape in the game itself. Major change though. They don't have spores really as much of a big thing in the show. So they show Ellie's immunity differently here than they did in the game. Normally in the game, Ellie has this moment where her mask breaks and she gets exposed to spores. Dina sees her breathe it in and survive. Here, Ellie actually takes a bite to save Dina. This is a huge "I would die for you" moment. So Dina is like horrified, but grateful, but horrified at the moment, because here I'm gonna get into it, but she's horrified at the moment. They hole up in the Pinnacle Theater. And again, this is straight out of the game, right? But in the game, the sign says Cassandra, which is a Greek tragedy. Here, it's sick habit. And this is tying back to the music Easter eggs at the Valiant store. So this is the details. Now, I got to say something. This episode really put some respect on Dina's name, because Dina was standing 10 toes down, ready to blow Ellie's head off. The last, just the moment that she thought Ellie took a bite for her. Like, no hesitation, no tears, no, but we're soulmates. No. Dina knew what had to be done and was about to handle business like a true survivor. And I respect the hell out of that, because as hard as that is, you got to have some sense of self-preservation in this world. It's kind of what blurs the line of hero and depending on who's telling the story. But at the end of the day, self-preservation is paramount. At this point, Dina might actually be my favorite character in the whole damn show. I'm gonna just say that. But you know what? No, let me build on that for a second. Let me build on that because Dina actually might be my favorite character on this show, right? Because she's got all of Joel's best traits. Think about it. She's got all of Joel's best traits. We see her introduced and she's interacting with Joel. It makes me wonder if she had a stronger relationship with Joel as Ellie started to pull away and maybe connected with him as a paternal figure as well. She picked up all of the best traits. She's got loyalty, right? She's got this survival instinct. She's got the smarts. Wow. Ellie, bless her heart, inherited all of Joel's worst, right? She's reckless. She's stubborn. She can't explain anything clearly to save her life. I mean, Ellie tried to explain her immunity. Like she was doing a book report on something that she didn't read. Like she was terrible at it. And honestly, I'm low-key shocked Dina didn't just murk her in her sleep. Straight up. I'm low-key shocked that she didn't do it. Like, that's not the Dina that we've known up until this point. But hey, I guess that little love song Ellie sang earlier had her feeling crazy in love. And then we get this super cute moment. And Dina drops the pregnancy bomb. And Ellie, aka Mr. Take Your Girl, immediately claims the title of father with zero hesitation. They end up having this sweet pillow talk session the next morning where Ellie tells Dina all about the times that she's been bitten. Side note for those who are on this live stream late last night, y'all know why that conversation hit different. Y'all know why. No spoilers here, but yeah, if you know, you know. Anyway, Dina also opens up about her past. She was talking about how she, I forgot to bring something to drink. She was talking about how she liked boys and girls, but couldn't explore it because of her strict mom. So for a while, she stayed chasing dudes until she met Ellie and realized, Jesse was just not it. Then Dina hits Ellie with the pregnancy test reveal, and Ellie's only concern is, am I the father? Let's just settle this now. I'm the father, right? And it's clear that she's got her priorities on point. But then we get some action again. They hear some noise over the WLF walkie-talkie. They head up to the roof and spot some conflict in the distance. It turns out Nora, if you played the game, is in that building. Ellie gets real Joel about it, trying to tell Dina to stay behind. But my girl Dina, my girl 10 Toes Dina did not come this far just to come this far. She's ride or die, and she's not about to sit this one out. And then, boom, end the episode. And I liked it. I actually liked it, right? Because Ellie and Dina had that pillow talk moment where Ellie jokes that she's the father. And we get this honest, bittersweet scene where Dina admits that she's pregnant, choosing Ellie anyway. Which is, think about that. Think about that, right? She has this baby inside of her. The dad is still around. And for all intents, he's a good guy. But she was actually in love with Ellie. She was repressing her feelings for Ellie. She's choosing Ellie anyway. Their relationship here feels so much stronger. It feels so much stronger and more real than even in the game, right? This doesn't feel like an impulsive hookup. This is more about choosing a future together. Meanwhile, the gunfire, the chaos, all that noise outside remind them and us that Seattle's war isn't slowing down, right? They hear Nora's name crackle through the WLF radio, and it's setting up the next big hunt. Now, I need to just get some stuff out, right? Because I love the way that they moved this episode. They're really taking their time to establish Ellie and Dina as the new duo moving forward. it's a very different show from season 1, and it's still painful for those of us who fell in love with the first duo. But some of the best shows do that, where they murk the main characters or several main characters and move forward in a new direction and with a new cast or a new shape. I have a wish list though, right? Because there's certain things I do know from where I am in the game, certain things I still don't know. So as of right now, I still have a wish list. One, I need Ellie to finally realize she's in over her damn head. She's in over her damn head. She's been just going gung-ho into everything. And I feel like this moment in the TV studio should have been a wake-up call. They had people hanging from the rafters like championship banners. They had people hanging from the rafters like championship banners with their guts spewing out. And this wasn't like, did you see how many arrows they pumped into my dude's chest in that one scene? Like, they were sitting here doing target practice on Homeboy. They are in over their damn head. Absolutely, I think they need to touch on that. Something else, I need more Isaac. I need more Isaac. Straight up. I need more Isaac. I need more Isaac. But I also want to see more Isaac out in the field. Let him cook. Let him cook. Let this man cook. He's ready. You know, I'm also ready to see Abby's new reality now that her revenge arc is complete, right? She's been home for a while. Abby was knocked out for 3 months. What is Abby up to? And isn't she in the same WLF that Isaac is running? I need to see Abby's new reality because we didn't get any Abby in this episode. Another thing, I want more Seraphites. I want more Seraphites, right? Because their cult vibe is horrifying in all the best ways. They remind me kind of like of the Native Americans I saw at the beginning of Sinners. They're just like some weird, unexpected, cool surprise that I need to understand a little bit more. I need more of this. In closing, this episode speed runs through some huge emotional beats, but it keeps it tight with some really, really cool Easter eggs for gamers. It's shot beautifully, it's brutal when needed, and honest about how ugly vengeance gets. I'm loving how they're pulling from the games while making it feel earned for TV. Shout out to the Pearl Jam poster, nod to Joel's taste in music. I love all of that. I love the moment with Dina counting fingers as a listen mode reference. I love the whole Channel 13 TV room. I love the joke that yeast infection survived the apocalypse, but freedom didn't. And yeah, the moment where we find out that Ellie and Dina are clueless about rainbows, and it's because for them, the world stopped in 2003. This is actually before marriage equality. Anyway, I want to know what you all thought about this episode and what your expectations or wants are from the next episode that's dropping tonight. Do me a favor, drop your rating in the chat, 1 to 10. And if you say anything less than an 8, then I need a 3-paragraph explanation and a note from your doctor. Thank you. Oh, who else? So who we got pulled up in here? I see Smoke One Kenobi. Thank you for coming through. Appreciate you. P.S. No concerts, only ghosted songs. Yeah, that is true. Who else we got up in here? Markeisha. Oh, member of the correct crew. One of our members. Shout out to Markeisha. I appreciate you. Thank you for coming through. Listen, if you haven't already checked it out, check out our new membership program. This is where I actually am going to have just some extra fun stuff for those of you who are members. Now, Markeisha is one of our members. She actually has access to her own set of emojis and avatars to use throughout the chat. In addition to that, you're going to be invited to some of the live streams that I do that are going to be either members chat only or straight up members only. Now, this is going to be chats and videos where I'm going to be playing through the game itself. So it's going to be kind of spoiler heavy if you're into seeing what's going to happen in The Last of Us, probably going into seasons 2 and 3. But if you're not, stay away from it. Stay away from it. Now, it's just a bonus for what I'm doing right now with The Last of Us. As we get into our next shows, there's going to be more stuff like that with me, giving access to me behind the scenes, putting together your favorite videos, letting you know what I have on my calendar. Because, like, sometimes I wonder if you guys understand all the stuff I have in front of me. Like, I don't know which ones I can and can't talk about, but I do have stuff unreleased from Apple, stuff unreleased from Amazon. Some of the big things that we've been talking about and leading up, hyping up in this show over the last few weeks. So I actually have access to it, and I'm working on them well in advance. I saw a movie last night that I don't think I could talk about until tomorrow. And then tomorrow I can actually let you know what movie it was and my opinion on it. Now, it's also another big name movie that we've been talking about. But yeah, this is the kind of stuff that I'm going to give early access to members. Check it out. Memberships are really, really cool. They're available and they're not expensive. They're not going to break the bank. The membership is $1.99. It's cheaper than any of your streaming subscriptions. I promise. It's $1.99, and it helps your boy out to help build this channel and get access to all these cool stuff to make things better. Look what you guys did. Don't you notice the clarity in the camera now? That's us. That's us working together. Thank you. Anyway, that's my little plug for the membership. Let me know what you guys thought of this episode. PS said I'd give it a 9 or a 9.5. Yeah, I feel that. I feel that actually, because this episode did its thing. Honestly, this episode really did do its thing with just, again, adapting all these key, beautiful scenes and moments from the game, and not just adapting them, like one for one recreating them. It's crazy enough the amount of detail that they packed into a video game, right? Just digitally recreating stuff from drawings, right? Just from hand art and maybe some photo reference, but actually then building this on screen for television, that's incredible. That's some incredible stuff right there. But yeah, woo! Hey, I want to let y'all know. Hey, I want to let y'all know. Yes. Thank you, PS. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. I appreciate you for coming a member. We've got our first member live on the show right here. First one who's joined live. PS, I really, really appreciate you. From now on, guess what? You're getting all that preferential treatment in the comments. You're going to have those extra bonuses, and you got access to the extra icons and avatars, even some of them of my face. Like, you could put my face in the chat now and show off your access. You can show off. You can stunt now. Go ahead. Do your thing. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Again, memberships are just $1.99. I've got really cool things coming up, including a live stream after this stream where we're going to start playing the game. I'm going to make that one probably a members-only chat. I'm going to still let y'all watch me play the game for now, but just understand, those are bonuses more so. But if you don't want to do the membership, that's cool. You still have access to all this cool stuff. So all that stuff is going to still be available to everyone, but you're going to get those. You got access to that bonus stuff. You got the job that you interviewed for. That's what's up. Thank you. Good luck. Yo, you did it. We did it. We all in this together. Congratulations. I wish you a whole lot of success, promotions, and raises. Thank you. Appreciate you, PS. Now, let me think. What else? What else are you guys saying about this episode? Anything? Chilling right now? Okay. So there were a couple other things that I wanted to talk about. Just some headlines, right? Not deep dives, just some headlines that I did want to talk about real quick. Let me see if I could bring it up. Oh, okay, so RIP to Charley Scalies. This is the dude, the legend from The Wire and The Sopranos. My man was 84 years young. If you remember him from these shows, you probably appreciated him. He was extremely memorable. Just want to give my condolences to his family and his friends. RIP to a legend. Rest easy, Horseface. Rest easy. Let's see. What else did we have? Netflix dropped some bangers this month. Now, for those of you who are into the sparkly vampires, I'm not judging you. Twilight has been added to the Netflix platform, but they also added one of my favorite zombie shows that's a great follow-up or just something to watch in between while waiting for The Last of Us. This one is called Train to Busan. Now, for those of you who have seen Train to Busan, you already know Train to Busan is legit. This is a great little zombie movie to fill in between The Last of Us cravings. If you haven't seen this movie, check it out. I believe the first one and its sequel, Peninsula, are both on Netflix now. They also added Ocean's 11. I think they might have added the whole trilogy. I love those Danny Ocean movies, George Clooney, Brad Pitt, Don Cheadle, so many more. I really love those films. It's like Netflix just knew me and they said, here's your binge watching starter pack. Go. Let me think. What else? What's this? Oh, Amazon added another simple favor. This is where Blake and Anna are back being messy. It's Phoebe Waller-Bridge narrates a doc about octopuses. It's there and it's peak chaos. It's available on Amazon Prime. What else did I see? I saw this. Now this is really interesting because this was a show that I watched with my wife from beginning to end. Desperate Housewives. Desperate Housewives is coming back, kind of. It's kind of coming back. We're going back to Wisteria Lane with Kerry Washington producing. Okay, so I'm guessing there'll be wine and popcorn. So they put in the news, or at least in the article, one of the most famous streets in TV history is ready to welcome new residents. Wisteria Lane is going to be a reimagining of the hit ABC mystery dramedy series Desperate Housewives and has been set up for development at Onyx Collective. It comes from Kerry Washington, Simpson Street, and 20th Television, where the company is based. Now, this is kind of interesting because it sounds like they're going to remake the show with Kerry Washington possibly positioning this as something for her to star in. Now, I'm okay with that because one of the main things that I need is for someone to play all the different stereotypes of all the different characters. If she's able to operate in the world of dramedy and we have that one or two strong comedic characters in there, I think that they have the early makings of another hit. Like for those of y'all who, and again, I watch this show with my wife. Sometimes I give these shows that I would normally not watch a chance with her, and I have a lot of fun with them. And I had a lot of fun with Desperate Housewives, so I'm kind of excited to see what's going on with that over there. Spike Lee and Denzel are reunited. Now, I remember reporting or writing about this a while back. It was going to be called High to Low. Now it's called Highest to Lowest. It also stars A$AP Rocky, and they dropped a new teaser for this film. Now, I don't know if y'all know this. Now, sometimes he don't hit every recipe. Spike Lee, sometimes he don't hit every recipe. Some recipes is like it's not hitting. But for the most part, most people know this man can cook. And he's especially cooking when he's working with Denzel Washington. They've got a new film. It's a music mogul drama. There's moral dilemmas. There's a person who is a music mogul who gets into some criminal situations. Grown man cinema is back. I like this trailer a lot. I do. I can't play the trailer, but I want you guys, if you're interested in Denzel and Spike Lee's cooking, if you like that seasoning, I need y'all to take some time to check that trailer out. This movie is whew. I'm excited for it. And I didn't even know I would be excited for what could be an ASAP Rocky movie. Let's see. What else? I did have a few other things, right? We have the Thunderbolts. All right. So, man, this is wild to find out. Now, some of you may remember when I did my Thunderbolts reviews, one of the main things that kind of stood out to me was the way that the movie handled Taskmaster. Now, Taskmaster is a character who I feel like could have been utilized better in the movie. I won't spoil it, but I feel like the character could have been used a lot better than the way that they used the character. Now, Polygon and Comic Book Movie and all these other sites have been reporting that there's a subplot that Taskmaster went in a different direction that was cut from the movie. They actually had a subplot where Taskmaster had memory issues, like just bugged out memory issues, you know, so much trauma from being a part of the Black Widow program really messed up Taskmaster. And there was supposed to be this subplot where all throughout the movie they would be friends, but then there would be these random moments where Taskmaster would just keep trying to murk John Walker. It would just be random and absurd and hilarious, just like a flip of a switch, and all of a sudden it's murking time, right? That's not just funny. That's actually development. That's some drama, and Marvel cut it. Disrespectful, man. That one hurt. That one really hurt. But yeah, there was a whole other character thread for Taskmaster among some of the changes to the film. Now, again, I feel like Taskmaster could have been better utilized in this film. I think this sounds like one of those ways they could have better used the character in this film. Again, I don't want to say how the character was used. I have that in the review. If you haven't seen the review, I'll put a link in the comments. But yeah, not the way that the character was used. Okay, so this one I was on the fence about even talking about. But it's kind of political, but it's kind of because it affects Hollywood. I guess that there is a plan for putting a 100% tariff on films that have production outside of the United States that release in the United States, right? There's a plan to tariff. So basically, if you're making a movie, right, you have like these options for where you make the movie. You can make it in like California, which offers, I think, tax incentives, but it's a lottery system. I think they have a limited number of tax incentives that they're giving the films now. And it's not guaranteed that you'll get the tax benefits in California, but if you go to Atlanta, if you go to Canada, if you go to South Africa, if you go to these other places, you can create films for less money. And this is like kind of helpful if you're like an independent film, if you're bootstrapping, if you're coming out of film school, if you want to put up your house for your movie, like this is how you could kind of make your money give you more value by producing in places where you have these benefits for making films. So they have these benefits in the US. They also have some benefits similar like that internationally. And here's the other thing you have to consider. When you're making films, location space gets limited. Tyler Perry Studios has a massive studio lot, but it's probably got scheduling demand for months and years for films that are going to be releasing. It's probably booked solid for a while, unless there's little cancellations. And this goes for a lot of studios in the United States. There's going to have only so much space that they can accommodate for film studios for right now. So yeah, so a lot of people are looking at more locations for making their series and TV shows. Some of your favorite TV shows are filmed internationally. Marvel is filming Avengers, Doomsday, and Secret Wars in London right now. That's at risk of a tariff of doubling their production costs, or at least some of it, right? Foundation is filmed internationally. That's a big sci-fi show that I know I love. That's at risk. There's so many shows. You'd be surprised how many projects are actually filmed in South Africa. Anyway, there are plans to put these tariffs on all foreign produced movies as well. So that means even the movies that get picked up from international releases. So like Parasite, RRR, anything, basically like anything with subtitles, unless it's Shrek in Espanol. Like those films are what is being proposed for tariffs. So it feels kind of weird. So I just kind of wanted to touch on it a little bit because it almost feels like it's not policy, kind of feels like a punishment. And I'm wondering, Hollywood, what the hell did y'all do? What did y'all do to this man? Why are y'all bothering him? He's like Debo. Leave these nice people alone. Right? You don't need, don't bark up that tree. Don't bark up that tree, Hollywood. Leave this man alone. If he wants a cameo in the movie, let him lift Thor's hammer for a second. Stop. Everybody's suffering. Don't do it. Oh man. Anyway, yeah, I'm curious about what is going to be the shakeout from this one. Right? Like what's going to happen from here? I know that some studio heads are starting to comment on it a little bit. But right now it's wait and see. And then usually after wait and see, then it gets implemented and then it's how do we handle it? So I'm excited to see, not excited, I'm curious to see how Hollywood is going to handle this one because this is a budget's going through the roof. Just think about this, right? So if Avengers cost $200 million to make, and they get 100% tariff, let's say I don't even know. I'm just gonna highball it because this is I'm gonna inflate it a little because I just don't know exactly what the percentage breakdown would be. But let's say half of that is tariffed, right? So 100 million gets tariffed. So they just add another 100 million to the budget. That means the $200 million movie just became a $300 million movie. And the rule of thumb that they usually tell the audience is if you want to estimate a movie's true cost, you have to include their marketing budget. And their marketing budget is usually the same price as their production budget. So you just got to double the number. So if it's a $200 million movie, calculate $200 million in marketing. So the 400, it's like now we're talking a $500 million break even figure for an Avengers movie. That's just to make their money back. They would have to hit $500 million, which isn't unprecedented for the Avengers, but it does eat into the profits that these studios usually depend on to make up and balance their books for any other projects that might not have not performed as met their projections. So a lot of times with studios, they put out a lot of projects in the year. You know, some of them hit, some of them don't, some of them make their projections, some of them don't. And it's up for these big tentpole projects to help get them above water, right? Like just like if another project lost money, at least make up for it and then bring our overall numbers higher than where we started at the quarter. That's the game. This is going to be rough. This is going to be rough if they do that because that's eating into those numbers. Shareholders are the ones who hurt too, right? Because I think shareholders, don't you guys get dividends on Disney? Does Disney give dividends? I think they do. I don't remember. They might. But yeah, Apple, all these other people are going to suffer too. All of our favorite man, it's going to be rough. It's going to be rough. What else did I want to talk about? What are you guys saying? Are you guys saying anything? Ellie has no business calling herself a dad. She knows nothing to do with pregnancy. No dads know anything to do with pregnancy. That's the thing though, right? Dads don't be knowing about pregnancy. Spike Lee is the man. Yes. My favorite Spike Lee film will always be Do the Right Thing. Yo, that movie built worlds. So did Crooklyn. Yo, I love a lot of Spike Lee joints. I really do. I like a lot of Spike Lee joints. I got a lot of respect for Spike Lee. Denzel and Spike Lee together is a masterpiece. I agree. Taskmaster could have been around a little longer. I agree. No good reason to cut the Taskmaster scenes. What else? Fernando saying this orange colored clown is getting on my nerves. I don't care if this man is our president. Donald Trump. Whoa. All right. You know what? Let me move on because I ain't trying to have those talks. This ain't those talks. I was talking about Hollywood, and the predicament that they're in, not necessarily the policy maker. You know, the policy itself sucks, right? So I'm thinking about it there, especially for like those independent films. Like think of like Past Lives, right? Past Lives is one of those independent films. I think it was filmed in America, but imagine one of those movies or not the Royal Tenenbaums, what those Wes Anderson movies that are filmed internationally on lower budgets. Those movies, right? Those are the ones that I think will be impacted. But yeah, not the policymaker, just talking about the policy. Switching topics. I hear online that our man Kevin Feige has a plan. And those are the words that I most want to hear coming out of Marvel. Kevin Feige has a plan. Because when this man has a plan, he cooks. He cooks, right? He put together some of the greatest franchises in cinematic history as far as what they performed in the box office. Some of the highest grossing movies of all time have come out under Kevin Feige's direction, under his planning, under his leadership. When this man cooks, he can cook. And I'm hearing that he has a plan, a 10-year plan. It's taken a while to get here, but whatever. Let's get into it. Storm. No, I can't even talk about Storm because Storm might not show up until we've got flying cars and AI agents. But Kevin Feige is out here planning a reboot like he's building New York from scratch. So he's sitting here planning a 10-year plan for the X-Men, which is what I want to hear. Now, this is something that we're assuming is going to start after Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars, where a lot of people I've learned actually think that the Marvel Cinematic Universe is going to reboot. And I don't know. Is this like a common assumption? Is everybody just treating this like a foregone conclusion? The Marvel Cinematic Universe is going to reboot after Secret Wars. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Even if you're on my X-Men out there, I can see your comments too. Drop a comment to this video. I see them, and I can pull them up on screen. But let me know, do you actually think that the Marvel Cinematic Universe is going to reboot after Avengers Secret Wars? Let's talk about it. But that's the foregone conclusion, is that afterward he's going to come through with a plan. So that means we're already seeing rumors and little murmurs about possible castings, directors, considerations, things like that. I think Patrick Schwarzenegger's name has been thrown out there. Shout out to Patrick Schwarzenegger. I had the opportunity to meet him and interview him a while back for The Staircase on HBO. Check that out on the channel. But Patrick Schwarzenegger is seemingly being considered for a role. Some people are saying that they want to see him be Cyclops. Honestly, I like that, but I want to give you something else. Let's take a look at my guy Patrick Schwarzenegger for a second. Let me pull up my guy Patrick Fresh to Death Schwarzenegger for a second. Tell me you don't see this. Now, I can see why some of y'all saying put the visors on him and you got Cyclops, right? I can see why y'all saying that. I see it. I really do. But tell me you can't also look at him and just a little bit, you see Iceman. Tell me you don't see a Bobby Drake. Tell me you don't see a dude surfing around on ice through the sky, freezing goons to death on sight. Tell me you don't see a Bobby Drake. I kind of see it. I see Cyclops, but his height, he's such a tall dude, and his build. I also kind of see Iceman. But yeah, let me know what y'all think. As far as that in the comments, are you getting Iceman vibes from my guy here? Are you getting Iceman vibes from my guy, Patrick Fresh to Death Schwarzenegger? Let me know what y'all think in the comments. This is what I've been thinking about for Patrick Schwarzenegger, if he's being considered in the X-Men world. Let me know what y'all think in the comments as well. Let's see. Kevin the chef. Yeah, Kevin's the chef. Chef Kevin, like Chef Wonderful. Right? Let's just take that name for a second. Let's take it from Kevin O'Leary and let's bring this over to Kevin Feige. Chef Wonderful can cook. This man could cook. But yeah, he could cook. He's putting the X-Men together. Maria says she needs some storm in her life. Markeisha is excited for the X-Men. We got the X-Men jumping up. I see the excitement because I don't know about y'all. And I don't know about everybody who or when y'all got introduced to Marvel, but when I got introduced to Marvel, the hierarchy of power was Spider-Man, X-Men, and everybody else, including the Avengers. And the Avengers, I don't even know if there was number 3. Like there was usually in the top 10. They would somewhere fluctuate between the top 10, but they definitely wasn't in like the top 5. It depended on what story they was being told. But for the most part, especially when I got introduced to the characters, X-Men was number 1. That's why X-Men went against Street Fighter, right? Like it was X-Men in the video games first, and then they brought in Marvel superheroes and Avengers and all those other characters. The X-Men had to break those barriers. But yeah, when I came into it, X-Men was number 1. This is what I've been waiting for. This is what I want to see the characters. These are the characters I want to see in live action most of all. These are the ones that I think you can build universes around. And if you really need to move away from the Avengers, you already lost most of your Avengers. Let the X-Men cook. Make them the flagship team. Make little spin-off movies off their characters. We need Storm. We need Iceman. We need Nightcrawler. We need Beast. We need Bishop. We need Cable. We need so many X-Men. Rogue, Gambit. So many X-Men. Forge. So many X-Men. Darwin. So many X-Men villains. Apocalypse, Mr. Sinister, Magneto. So many storylines and directions. The Hellfire Club. Yo, 10 years is not enough time, honestly. If anything, I think we need to start talking 20-year plans straight up with the X-Men. 10-year plans are great, but the X-Men is such a world that you can just like really just mine for such a long time. There's their stories just fighting survival of the fittest, Darwinism with Apocalypse, right? Then we got the racial, social commentary with Magneto, Friends of Humanity, their relationship with the Avengers, and how every time the X-Men get attacked, the Avengers don't come help. But when the Avengers get attacked, the X-Men come help. How come that always happens? Then they got their cosmic stories. We got the Shi'ar. We got the Phoenix. We got the M'Kraan crystal, right? Like they have so many different stories to mine. And then they have multiverses. Age of Apocalypse. Can you hold on? I don't think y'all understand. Can you imagine for all my comic book heads, for real, the real ones, 1995, Joe Madureira, Andy Kubert, those artists, those stories, all my comic book heads. Can you imagine an Age of Apocalypse movie? Like, we already got hints of it in Deadpool and Wolverine when we had that one Wolverine variant with the one hand and he's just beating the heck out of Deadpool on sight. Like, if we had a movie or several movies in the Age of Apocalypse world, there's so many ways that they can mine the X-Men and build around the X-Men for way longer than 10 years. I think we need to start talking 20-year plans for real, for real. Like, that's not even cap. But yeah, I always like X-Men better than Avengers. I know it's not just me. I always like X-Men better than Avengers, for real. Markeisha says, I can see Iceman. I see it, yo. He's got that devil may care attitude. He's got that swashbuckler, ladies' man type character. And even if they want to explore the bisexuality of Iceman, they can go in that direction too. I think Patrick Schwarzenegger could kill this role as Iceman. I think I see Cyclops, but I also see Iceman. All right. Anyway, well, let's talk. What did y'all think of Dina's reveal? What did y'all think of Ellie's trauma? Are y'all still riding for the WLF? Are you team Seraphite? Are you team Ellie and Abby? Drop your questions in the chat. Let's start breaking all this stuff down. If there's any of the news pieces y'all want to talk about, let's hit it up in the chat right now. He was excellent in White Lotus TV series on HBO, and he was cooking in Gen V, right? I think Gen V put him on a lot of people's radars too. Avengers has put on She and focus on the X-Men. Yeah. Put the X-Men, put the Avengers down. And heck, you can even do an Avengers versus X-Men. I didn't even talk about Avengers versus X-Men. You know how many times the Phoenix came back? There's so many. You know how many? If they did Krakoa, if they did Krakoa, Chef Curry with the pot. Yo, yeah, man. I don't. Krakoa was a special time in the X-Men. It was an incredible time with the X-Men. It was, I think, their best time in the past 30 years. And, it was such a really good read. It was such an incredible book. It took the X-Men in so many unexpected directions. It totally reinvented them and made them refreshing. I can't say enough good things about the X-Men Krakoan age. I think that it created something special. It was probably going to be a brand defining story. I think that Krakoa had the makings and was going in the direction of a story that was going to outrank and outshine any other interpretations of the X-Men. It was on such a rocket of a trajectory in storytelling. A story where all the mutants on both sides, hero and villain, decided they're not enemies. They're not enemies, and they can work and live together if they had unlimited resources. And they started giving heroes and villains unlimited resources, their own space in which to exercise it, and not have any want or need outside of their circle. It was such a powerful time for the X-Men. If they made a movie about that, they could cook. Avengers has, what'd you say? Please, Kevin, stay away from the Phoenix Saga. It's cursed. Just ask Fox Studios. It's not. So I always say when it comes to things like this, the best thing that they should do and what they used to do was they would kind of test the waters by releasing animated movies. It would be a lower budget investment. They would be able to test the waters in storytelling and writing, put stuff out in animation, see if it resonates with folks, and then pick and borrow what they want to use for a live action adaptation. They did it for the Doctor Strange movie. They did it for Hulk versus Wolverine. They did it for a few other projects. Go that method. I think that the Phoenix story has been told perfectly in that Fox X-Men cartoon. I think that that story could be adapted directly. And when I say directly, I mean like The Last of Us Part 2 directly, like scene for scene. Like you don't have to make anything new. They have that available to them. But yeah, that's how I feel about the Dark Phoenix saga. It's a story that I know has been told in a way that I really appreciated, and I would hope to see told in a very similar way. I love what the X-Men 97 cartoon is doing, is because it's just like it knows what it's doing. It's taking these exact moments, sometimes blending some of them together, but for the most part, it's getting us almost shot for shot moments from the comics that were popular enough to be considered for adaptation in the first place. So yeah, love that stuff. Let me see. I don't see anybody else saying anything, so let me do this. Am I gonna wrap up? Because I didn't have any more. Oh, did it? I have one more topic, right? Let me see. I thought I had one more. I thought I had a movie. I can't talk about that. Oh, I do have one more thing. Foundation. So, Foundation is coming back. Foundation is coming back. Foundation is coming back. And we all need to be excited. Now, this one, I feel like if you were around the first time round for season 2, you know how excited I am for Foundation. Foundation is a show that was so good. It was one of the few shows that I was like, 10 episodes is not enough, right? It's up there with like, I need 20. Like, this is, to me, one of the, if not the best space sci-fi show on TV. It's incredible. You know how I broke down this show, how much I love this show, how much I'm totally into the Foundation, with the Cleonic Empire, with the first Foundation, with the second Foundation, with Halberd Mallow, with Gail Dornick, with Harry Seldon. Like, yo, you know about my obsession with psychohistory, my fear of Demerzel, my able to vibe with Brother Dusk, my fear of Brother Day, and my kind of concern about Brother Dawn. You know how I feel about this show, and you know about why it's so good. If you don't know, I'm going to start putting together some videos explaining it. Season 3 has been announced. A trailer has been released. The season is going to start in July. I'm going to be giving some build up to it to help get you caught up if you're not already watching this show. So keep an eye out for me to start giving you some season 1 and season 2 recaps just to bring you up to speed. You really should be watching it, but if you just need to be reminded about what happened because it's been a little while since season 2, I'm going to be putting together some season 1 and season 2 recaps. I'm going to do some remix and updates to the deep dives that we had before. And of course, we're going to do deep dives and live videos talking about Foundation season 3. If you're into sci-fi, if you're into Isaac Asimov and his writing, if you're into space, if you want to see the blueprint. When I say the blueprint, like if you're a fan of Star Wars, if you're a fan of Star Trek, you're probably a fan of Isaac Asimov and you don't even know that your hero is borrowed from him. If you want to see the blueprint and see the things that were, reinvented for your favorite franchise, watch Foundation. It's written and directed by the incredibly talented David Goyer, who wrote the Dark Knight trilogy. He wrote Batman Begins, The Dark Knight Rises. I believe he wrote the Blade trilogy, and I think he might have directed Blade 3. Don't hold that against him. But for the most part, this man can cook too. This man can cook. And he's been cooking with Foundation. He's gotten this franchise. He's been able to go wild with it. He's got some other stuff in the work, but Foundation is still going strong. Season 3 is coming. I believe he directs the first episode. I don't know if I can say anything more than that, but Foundation is coming. So if you haven't already checked it, check out this trailer. We pick up where season 2 ended. There's some more. We're going to be reintroduced into the Mule. We're going to see the Mule. Now, the Mule, I believe, has been recast. This guy is now the Mule. The last time we saw the Mule, he was like some skinny, bald guy. This is the Mule now. He's been recast. He's causing havoc. I don't want to say too much. Watch the trailer. I'm not playing it. And let me know what you think. Foundation is coming back. What'd you say? I love Wolverine, but I want to know. I love Wolverine, but I don't want the new X-Men movies to evolve around Wolverine. I'm okay with that too. Like, he doesn't need to be the main lead. There's so many interesting characters in this ensemble team. We just need to focus on them and also make sure they're presented properly, accurately, and reflective of the way that fans expect them to be interpreted, right? Like, if Nightcrawler came out and he wasn't blue, instead he was red, and instead of teleporting he had Wolverine claws, and we called him Nightcrawler anyway, we wouldn't like that. We wouldn't want that. It kind of sounds kind of cool, but that's not Nightcrawler. We want Nightcrawler. That's a different character. You could make that character too, just don't call him Nightcrawler. What are your thoughts on the teaser trailer for the new Godzilla X Kong movie? I didn't watch the teaser trailer yet. I've been bombarded with stuff this week. It's like the kind of the reason that this show's been sliding from Thursdays to Sundays. My schedule's just been incredibly busy. I was able to watch the Foundations trailer because I prioritize it. But I didn't see Godzilla X Kong. I do need to go back and see that. But the Godzilla X Kong movies are cool little films that I like to see. Mayhem and just monsters fighting each other. I just turn my brain off and watch it. I call them popcorn flicks. I get super excited for films that make me think a little bit more than those movies do. So like Foundation, man, psychohistory, the mathematical prediction of civilizations based off of mass historical events, and how somebody's been able to figure out a mathematical formula to predict future on a colossal scale. Like, he's like, I can tell you when this empire will fall with mathematic certainty. And then how does that affect the world? How does that affect society? How does that affect religion? How does that affect politics? When they say, this empire is going to fall in 20, 30 years, and it's mathematically proven. I'm not going to I don't know how, but math shows that your empire is going to fall. How would a leader handle that news? That's Foundation. Foundation touches on that kind of stuff. I love that stuff. So not to sleep on it, but yeah. Do you think Matt Reeves stepping down from the Batman 2 is a sign that it's not going to happen? It's not looking good. It's not looking good, and it's kind of messed up because they have all the makings of a hit franchise and world, right? They did really good with the Batman movie. They did outstanding with the Penguin series, like outstanding with the Penguin series, and they built up this demand and interest in this iteration of Batman that was actually being shepherded and under the guidance of Matt Reeves. Do I think it's a sign that it's not going to happen? I would say maybe, because James Gunn has already taken over the DC brand with the DCU, and having competing iterations of Batman was already going to be a complicated thing. So if this is something that might be a compelling argument for the decision makers to say, hey, you know what, if Matt Reeves can't do it, let's just leave it alone. That seems really possible in these circumstances. Now, I don't know what that looks like, because I'm sure there's agreements, contracts, promises, relationships. It's all sorts of fallout for just ending this agreement. This agreement happened during the DCEU at its peak, when the movie was originally going to be starring Ben Affleck, and Ben Affleck was going to direct it. He gave up his rights and plans for the movie. They fell to Matt Reeves, and they kind of danced around whether or not his Batman would be Ben Affleck or would it be a reboot. But they gave him creative control over the brand. I think that came with a lot of promises, commitments with legal contracts. So it's going to be interesting to see what they can and can't do. I would imagine that Matt Reeves would kind of have to give up the rights more than them just canceling it on him because of his situation. But we'll have to see. I know that they had so much potential. Fans have been having so much demand for another film with Robert Pattinson. People have been theorizing who the villain would be. Would it be Clayface? Would it be Mr. Freeze? Would it be all this? And I kind of wondered about that kind of stuff, because I was sitting here wondering, like, all right, well, there's rumors that Matt Reeves might want to use Clayface for his movie, right? Like, that would be the villain. And I was like, that would be kind of cool, because I think this would be a villain we haven't seen in film before. It would be a really intimidating, challenging foe for Robert Pattinson's Batman. And I think that Matt Reeves has that creative eye that I like, that I really enjoy, to bring this character to life. And I thought that was a really interesting rumor. Fast forward a little bit, and we find out that James Gunn's DCU was moving forward with a Clayface movie. Now, that immediately made me think, would they both use Clayface? Right? If James Gunn's DCU is going to be releasing a Clayface movie, would Matt Reeves also use Clayface as his villain for his film? I just don't know. It just kind of felt interesting and kind of surprising when I heard both iterations of DC using that character potentially. But I wonder how all this stuff shakes out. Of course, my girl Marquisha, what's going on? Shadow Force. So I haven't seen Shadow Force. I wanted to see Shadow Force. I just found out about So Shadow Force never ended up in my inbox. I'm on a lot of mailing lists because of my critic status. I usually find out about movies. Shadow Force just, I don't know. It wasn't on my radar. Not until the week of release. And then I see Kerry Washington, Omar Sy. They're promoting it. They're giving me emails for giving me photos of the premiere. Not inviting me to the premiere, but giving me photos of the premiere. And I'm like, yo, this movie looks kind of cool. I like both of these actors right now. I really especially enjoyed Kerry in the Tyler Perry movie. And I also enjoy Omar Sy in everything. Lupin. I think he's coming out in the Jurassic World movie coming out this summer. I really enjoy Omar Sy. So I'm really kind of excited for it. But I haven't seen it yet. My wife saw it. My wife saw it. She told me that she and her girls went out and saw Shadow Force in theaters and said she enjoyed it. So now I'm actually kind of looking forward to seeing it too. But yeah, I haven't seen Shadow Force yet. I'm really excited for that one. I definitely want to see it. Foundation show sounds dope. It is. It is. It is. Everyone has a different take on the Thunderbolts box office. Do you think it's good or disappointing? It depends on what your expectations were. For a while, Marvel movies weren't all cracking $1 billion, right? Like, I think like the first Spider-Man Homecoming did 800 million worldwide, something like that. Before that, Winter Soldier. How much did Captain America Winter Soldier make in the box office? Did it hit it? I don't think it hit $1 billion. Let me look real quick. It made 700 million. And that was with characters that were a little bit more recognizable to the general audience than anyone else. Like, even if you don't know a Captain America story, you might have heard of his name before. The Hulk, most people had heard of. Thor, you kind of heard of in different iterations of his character. So with Thunderbolts, I think it was it depends on what your expectations were. I had lower expectations, honestly. Like when I was on a Marvel low, and you couldn't tell me that a Marvel movie was breaking over 300 million anymore. Like, but now we're seeing that that is actually not the case, and the movie is starting to make some money. And I think from that perspective, it's not bad. It's in the right direction. And we're really going to see with the Fantastic Four, where they're going to have a brand that is a lot more recognizable to the general public, and how that's received in the box office. You know, if Fantastic Four makes 600 million, I think that is a success. I think that's like where my barometer would kind of be, just for it being a more recognized IP. Um, yeah, Fantastic Four is the real test for me. But I just, they got a lot of, it's going to be interesting with Fantastic Four and how people accept it. You know, I don't know. I don't know. MJ Jones was good. What's going on? Appreciate you coming through. You caught me at the tail end. I was about to wrap up. I figured we was going to be a quick show. What are your thoughts on the new season of Peacemaker? I got to watch the first season of Peacemaker. I didn't finish it. Like, I started watching it, and like the first episode didn't hit with me, and I kind of just stopped there. It's and I do this sometimes. Like, I try to watch shows mainly because I know other people tell me that they really enjoy the shows and they recommend it. But sometimes it just doesn't fit. Like, I'm the same way with Andor, right? Like I try with Andor. I tried several times with Andor, but I just couldn't get into it. I could not get into it. And I didn't like the first episode of Peacemaker. Just really wasn't a fan of the humor. The humor style is just not my taste. Not that it's bad. It's just not for me. So I just kind of didn't watch it. Like that whole opening segment with the dancing and stuff, I understand it. I get it. I see, people like that. I just, it's just not for me. But yeah, that's where I'm at with Peacemaker. I gotta see. I'm gonna try Peacemaker season 1 again. Right now, I'm starting to put in work on Foundation. I figured I want to watch season 2 again to really be prepared to do my deep dives for season 3. But I'm gonna try with Peacemaker again and see if I'm able to finish it so I could watch season 2. Is Pedro a big enough star to bring in a lot of moviegoers? I don't know, because there's on one hand, my expectation is for there to be people to kind of boycott it because they might call the casting woke. But then on the other hand, I don't really see a lot of people um, throw that vitriol on Pedro Pascal. He seems to be exempt. So it's hard for me to really predict this movie because Pedro is a wild card with what I think, how I think America might react. So I don't really know how they're going to react to Pedro. From the trailers, I haven't seen a lot of bad things said, but I feel like if the movie does things with his character that people dislike, that they will kind of flip a switch at any given moment. So it's really hard for me to tell with this movie. I'm worried for it, honestly. If that's what you're wondering, what that feeling is coming out of me, I'm worried. Like, I'm worried because, like, I don't want movies to be attacked for stuff like this, but I do know that it does happen, right? Like, if you are accused of being woke, it could be really bad for your film. Let's see what else. Foundation was really good. Yeah, Foundation is outstanding. If you haven't checked out Foundation, if you want to see my colorful recaps of them instead of watching the show, if you don't have Apple Plus, I think you should get Apple Plus for this one. Honestly, I would say I would co-sign you getting Apple Plus for like Foundation. I would absolutely co-sign that. But I do have deep dive videos where I recap the entire season with my usual brand of humor. If you join me from the Frumly, you know what I do. You know what I do. You know how I handle my deep dives. I do that with Foundation. I do have a playlist. I'll put something in the comments for y'all. I go through all of season 2, which again, I think is some of the best television I've seen since some of the best seasons of Game of Thrones. It was outstanding. But yeah, I think that's everything. I think I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to get ready. I promised you guys a video game live stream. I'm going to try to do that today. If nothing comes up, I'll do that today. Otherwise, I will do it for the members in the week. I'll give you guys a little bit of notice, and you'll be able to join me as I play through The Last of Us Part 2 on my PS5. I do have it set up. So when we are ready, we'll be ready. And when we do it, it'll be kind of members only, for the chat at least. And we'll make it available for everyone to watch. Now I ain't gonna spoil too much. You see how I said that? Too much. But this is what we be doing. This is what the members get to see. This is what the members get to chat about. Swole Abby. Swole Abby. Look at that. Look at these Look at these graphics. Look at her idle animations, yo. And this is not a brand new game. This game came out years ago. I'm playing the PS4 version on PS5. Join me on the live stream. We're going to be going through this part of the game. I'm playing as Abby. There are going to be spoilers for those of you who only are watching the show, so just beware when I come up with that stream. If you're new here to the movie blog, please do me a favor. Hit that like button. Hit that, please. Yo, please hit that like button. Please. It does so much to help me, even in 2025. Hit the like button, subscribe. Otherwise, I'm going to check you all later. Peace, y'all.